Good afternoon. We're here at the high school again, and I've chosen to do that because we had a spectacular event take place, not necessarily in Bryson City, involved students from Bryson City, but they actually were able to go to New York and to premiere a video that they produced here in Bryson City. And with me is Tayla Holt, who is one of the leads in the cinema club. So Tayla, just take a minute or so and tell me about the video, the movie that was premiered in New York.
So the movie that we did was called Sons and Daughters, and it was placed in the 1960s, around the Vietnam War, and so it's about a dysfunctional family whose the dad was a Korean War veteran who lost his leg, and the son gets drafted, and they are trying to come together after the loss of the son.
And I've seen the video, and I know that our school board has seen the video as well, but I know that there are a lot of people in the county that probably have not. Would it be possible that they'll have another opportunity to see that?
Yes, actually. On November 7th at 7 p.m., there will be another showing, another screening of Sons and Daughters here at the Swain Arts Center. And it will be shown with the new projector in the Arts Center, which has a lot better quality, so it will look like it did when we saw it in New York City.
Can you describe the feeling that you had whenever small town Bryson City had a movie on a screen that was larger than most of us have ever seen? What did that feel like to you?
It was actually really surreal. It was pretty crazy because before we watched ours, there were a couple in the screenings, like a couple other films that went before us. So to see all of these great films and then all of a sudden there's ours and we're like, we made it here and that's us on that screen. So
I can't even imagine that. And I saw some pictures, and maybe we can drop some photos in of the fact that you got red carpet treatment and you were all dressed up in your finest. That had to be life-altering in some ways. Were there other parts of this trip that were maybe life-altering for you?
I think it was, there were a couple that were life-altering. I learned a lot. I learned that I can do more just here in our little town and be recognized by bigger companies and like become more just starting here or even staying here and just continue with that. And it was amazing to spend the week in New York and like looking around and visiting schools, and it made me wonder if I want to go to New York for school. So.
And, you know, a lot of people have said in order to be in the movies or to be on television, you have to go to a couple of places. One would be Los Angeles, Hollywood, that area. The other would be New York. But I'm thankful to hear you say that it's possible to do that here in Bryson City, because so often our youth grow up, graduate, and they leave, and they feel like they can't come back. But you're telling me that it's possible for them to do that. And I think, Tayla, part of that is because there's a difference in the way that films, movies are being promoted and produced and even distributed now. Is that true?
Yes, the streaming platforms are really changing the industry. A kid could have an idea for a show and then make one episode and put it on YouTube. Anyone could put anything on YouTube. A big company like Hulu or Amazon or Netflix could see it and then say, I like that. And then they'll tell you, do you have more? Well, you'll surprise them and say yes, and they'll want you to maintain your story and work with them so you can have a part in a large show that could be streamed on Hulu or Amazon.
And the nice thing about that is it probably is more cost effective as well. And I understand that there were other films that were premiered at this festival, and there were places people actually won first, second, and third. But there's a significant difference between your production here in Bryson City and the productions that might have claimed a prize. What are the differences in those?
There were a few. One is a bunch of these schools had like curriculums, so they had film classes that counted as grades and stuff. There was also more of like a budget. Some of them would have larger or just budgets in general. And they would also have more extras, like more people involved.
What are some other things that those schools were able to put into the production with a lot of people that we did with 5?
I think the passion and love for film was a really huge one. Yes, they did have more people that did want to be in those films, but we had 5 or 6 kids who just truly loved this film and wanted it to go so far. And I think that actually really did help us, because you can see in the film all of the hard work that went into it, and all of the, like, how hard it was to write it and direct it and act in it, and like the camera work. It was just the love for film really did bring us to this. And yeah.
And I think that that's a really good description that you've put out, and that is the love and the passion that went into what you all did can be seen in the fact that all of you had so many different pieces, and your energy came across in the movie as well. And I'm glad we'll get to see that on November the 7th. Now, I have a couple of more questions. I know that the festival wasn't the only thing that you did. Tell me 2 or 3 other things that you did that day or that weekend as well.
Okay, well, we did visit Pace University to look into like colleges and stuff like that. The festival itself did have a college fair, so me and the other students got to talk to a bunch of different colleges from all over the United States. There was even one there from London that was actually very interesting. We went to museums like the Whitney, which is a modern art museum, which was really interesting to see. It was actually really great. And so, yeah.
And now that's all about film and about college, but did you get to see the Statue of Liberty?
Yes, we did ride the Staten Island ferry, and we saw the Statue of Liberty. So that was really great. We just went sightseeing all the time when we weren't at the film festival.
How many days were you in New York?
I think about 5.
Well, you had a lot to do in all of those days, didn't you? I bet you came back really tired.
Oh yes, so on Monday was our last day there, but our plane didn't leave until about 8:30 at night, and so it was our last day there, so we all went out and we just made sure that we could see everything that we possibly could. We went to Central Park and got to see a bunch of really iconic things, and it was really interesting. So we came back on the plane, and then next day most of us went to school, so.
Oh, wow. So you come back on the plane and you're at school the next morning?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty incredible. Well, Tayla, thank you for having the passion that you have had for this, and thank you for helping move the Cinema Club into this direction. And what you have created, along with all of your colleagues there, is going to grow and is going to become even larger, and I appreciate that a great deal. And I want you to know that everyone here in Swain County is incredibly proud of you, and I need to invite everybody one more time to come to the Performing Arts Center here at the high school on November the 7th at 7 p.m. and come and see this film that our students have put together. And at the same time, they're going to have a documentary that they are also putting together right now that has to do with their entire trip. So please come out and join us that night. So until then, congratulations, and thank you all for being with us. Thank you for supporting our school system. Have a great afternoon, and God bless you.